Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Monday morning minutes for the week. I would like to first, before I forget, say a special thank you. I don't know who came and put 5 Cadbury cream eggs in my office over the weekend, but thank you very much. Those are my favorite Easter candy. I don't know how they knew that, but it was kind of fun. I got to come in this morning and have my own little Easter egg hunt, and I've been sharing them just so that you know. Diana didn't want one, but Zom took one. And I'll see if I want to share any others. We'll just see. But thank you to whoever left that surprise. That was fun to see, fun to get on a Monday morning. I wanted to share a little bit more from yesterday, and it's something that didn't make it into the sermon, but I think is important for us to think about. We kind of gloss over the fact that Jesus was fully human. And I remember reading years ago in a book that back in Jesus' time when he was walking on the earth, his disciples and the people that he taught and the people that he healed, even those he raised from the dead, they had no problem believing that Jesus was fully human. They struggled with the fact that Jesus was fully God. And they didn't understand that until after Jesus had risen from the dead. That's when it finally clicked. That's when it finally, oh, this is who he is. This is why he was able to do all of those things. They accepted the fully human part. They struggled with the fully God part. We accept the fully God part some 2024 years later. We tend to forget that Jesus was fully human. And we didn't specifically address verses 27 through 29 yesterday in the sermon, especially verses 27 and 28 in John chapter 12 when Jesus says, "Now my soul is troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it and will glorify it again." The crowd that was there and heard it said it had thundered. Others said an angel had spoken to him. There is this point in Jesus' life when he comes into Jerusalem and he is struggling with the fact that he has to go to the cross, that he is going to suffer and die a gruesome, horrible, painful, excruciating death. In fact, they had to make up a new word for the amount of pain that a person endured on the cross when they were crucified, and that's where the word excruciating comes from, literally out of the cross, out of the crucifixion. And Jesus knows what he has to do, but I would imagine, like any of us, none of us would want to endure that amount of pain, yet for a good purpose, for a good reason, like the redemption of the human race, Jesus will endure that amount of pain and torture. And I think that's important for us to remember in an Easter season. I think that's important for us to keep with us, keep in our hearts and our minds what Jesus endured for our salvation, especially when we read in the Gospels or in the New Testament the incredibly high standards that Jesus calls us to live by. And I mean, when he says we did cover, anyone who loves their life will lose it, while anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. That level of gratitude that we live in response to what Jesus has done, that he gave his life for us and we give our lives to him. But it sounds so easy when we say Jesus gave his life to us. And sometimes I think we forget, we miss the the torturous death that he died on our behalf. The fact that even though he knew what he had to do, the fully human side of him said, "I'm troubled. I don't know if I can go through with this. I don't know if I want to." I mean, we know in one of the Gospels, I believe it's in Luke, it's either Luke or Matthew, when Jesus is praying in the garden, he is so distressed. His body is so overcome with just, the torment that is about to happen, that his sweat becomes like drops of blood. That's how the amount of stress that he was enduring before being beaten and flogged and nailed to a cross. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Anytime Jesus asks something of us, he has already given so much more than what he asks in return. Anytime Jesus asks us to give something up, just imagine what he gave up. And I'm willing to bet that most of us will not suffer the same amount of physical torment that Jesus did to offer himself on that cross to provide salvation for us. So please keep that in mind this Easter season. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday, so we will officially begin Holy Week as Lent comes to a close and as we progress to Easter Sunday. And let's just never forget the fully human side of Jesus that still willingly went to that cross, even though he knew what it meant beforehand. And then, of course, there is still the fully God side of Jesus, which is why he is an eternal, once and for all sacrifice for our forgiveness of sins, and why he was able to walk out of that tomb 3 days later and provide eternal life. So God bless you all and keep you, and we will see you hopefully Wednesday night or Thursday morning for Bible studies, and of course next Sunday for worship here at Bowling Green CP Church.